It's a new year, which means most people, including myself, are making plans to increase their income. Did you know that well over 90% of Americans have set one of two goals for 2022? And it's either they want to be healthier, they want to eat less, they want to weigh better, they want to live better, and living better, they want to make more money. And most people in America, the thing that they want to do every single year, one of the biggest resolutions that I see, and I don't know how many people actually accomplish it. It's not that difficult, but it is a stretch. Everybody, everywhere, says they want to double their income in the coming year. Now, is that a crazy goal? No. And here, right here, we're going to talk about exactly how to structure your year so that you can double your income in 1 year. Think about how powerful that is, and we'll talk about that right now. All right, so obviously, let's get real here on the Rob Review, as I like to do. I like earning money. I like living well. I don't like to pinch pennies. I don't like to worry about where my next dollar is going to come from. I have, and I understand what it's like to do it, and everybody goes through hard times, but I'm betting, that if you're watching this show right now, that you want to live the best life possible, and you are okay with the idea of becoming rich. But most people don't get rich overnight. And we're talking about doubling your income on this episode of the Rob Review. Is it realistic to say you can double your income in a year? You gotta grind hard, you gotta work at it, but I think it's realistic. And I'll show you right here on this chart why a simple doubling of your income can compound into massive results over time. I talked about in an earlier episode breaking your life down into 5-year increments about where you want to be, how you want to live, what your life, what you want it to be like in 5 years, right? Well, let's talk on a 5-year time horizon of doubling your income, what it looks like. If you make a medium income in America of $40,000, now of course that's net, it's not gross, but let's just, for easy math, talk $40,000 figures. If you were going to double your income this year, obviously next year your income would be $80,000. Now your taxes are going to get bigger, your lifestyle is going to get bigger, and we're going to talk about in a second how to keep those things lower so this doesn't kill you, because honestly, if you make more money but you don't have a financial plan in place, your life's not going to get better, it's going to get worse because you're going to spend everything you make. Now $80,000 is a decent income and you can live a lot better life on that. But let's say you don't increase your lifestyle and you increase your income again. Now, $160,000 in year 3 might buy you a nicer house. The next year, you increase it by 2. Now, we're talking some big figures here. Now you're in the 4th year, the upper 1% of American earners. $250,000 or more makes you the upper 1%. Not the upper 1%, but the 1% of American earners. Okay? Now 320, year 5, you're at 640. That's a very, very nice income. And at year 6, you're a millionaire. You have $1 million plus in annual income coming in, actually 1.2. And at that point, by year 6, if you no longer double your income ever again, and you just increase it by 10, 20, 30% a year for the rest of your life, by passively investing that money and gaining that kind of return, not only will you not have to work to double your income like you've been working as hard as you have these past 5 years, but you will never again live a lifestyle that's less than a millionaire. As long as you're smart with your money and as long as there's no devastating economic things that destroy you that you're not looking out for. And that can happen. But the point is here, the power of the compounding, of the doubling effect, and the idea that too many people out there, I was one of them, spend their life with the idea that you want to become a millionaire tomorrow. You want to have more and more money tomorrow. And instead of saying I want to go from 40 to 80 or 50 to 100, I want to go from 50 to a million. And that is so much more difficult to do. It's almost unrealistic. It's not impossible, but why put yourself in that kind of a bind when you could double it for the next 5 years? And if you're a young enough person, most of us have great earning power over the next 5 years to put yourself in a position to live an incredible life. And now that I've shown you that chart, now for most people, including myself, when it comes to making more income, one of the first places that I should have looked that I did not look, and this is where I talk on the Rob Review, it's the reason it's called Rob Reviews, because I'm reviewing things that I wish I had learned in my life or that I didn't do and learn the hard way in my life. I had to marry an incredible girl to help me straighten out things about my finances that I just wasn't looking at. And one of the things is, look, most of us spend excessively, and we're over here trying to earn more when we really could just spend less and still have more to invest, and then therefore earn more, right? So one of the first places to look is how you're spending, where's it going. Take a month, live the same way you're living, and categorize, write down and think about every single expense and figure out exactly what is necessary to survive and what is okay, what is a luxury, if you will. And a lot of us will find that things that we think are necessary to survive are not really necessary. And if we're serious about having a better life, we need capital to work with, and the easiest way to find it is not to earn more, but to spend less. I have a mentor who talked about getting out of debt, and that's the second piece we're going to talk about here is you're spending excessive. Is it causing you to get in bad debt, which is keeping you from actually earning more? Because let me tell you, your earning potential increases and your spending habits don't decrease or get better or get a tight hold on them, your life is going to go out of control crazy. And I would rather earn $100,000 and live off of 50 than earn 250 and be one paycheck away from losing everything, wouldn't you? Life is about peace of mind, not having toys that you can't afford and earning a crap ton of money. For me, money gives and buys peace of mind. So what we're talking about here is spending excessive, then looking at debt and figuring out how much bad debt are you in and how long is it going to take to get out of it? How can we increase that cycle? And how can we spend less so we can throw more money at the debt and get that gone? Get the snowball effect going on the debt and make it work. Just for credit cards, for an example. Maybe look at how many credit cards you have, how much you actually use them, get rid of the ones you don't need. You don't need any more than really 3 credit cards, maybe not even that many. And if you've got a lot of credit cards and a lot of credit card debt, here's what you do to begin the snowball. You look at the one that is the highest interest rate, or at least this is what I did. A lot of those are going to be your furniture stores, your jewelry store credit cards, things that you're getting like 20% interest plus on it. Crazy interest. Those are the first ones you're going to pay down. You're going to continue to pay your minimum payments on all the rest, and you're going to throw all the extra money at getting down that high interest rate, the highest interest rate credit card first. When you get that knocked out, you cut the credit card up, you throw it out, you just make it so you can't put more money back on it, and you go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. I've heard people do other things that I'm not a financial advisor by any means, so consult your own or figure out your own plan. But if you have a high interest payment that you can't make, but you know you can go over here and get a low interest loan to pay it all off, to me, as long as you're paying less, it's a no-brainer. The idea is to build the snowball effect, because after you pay off that first credit card, now you're paying off the second one, putting all the money from the first one that you were paying off onto the second one, plus the minimum payment of the second. And it's a snowball building down. Now, once you've gotten out of debt and you've cut your excessive spending, or you've got the plan in place, we can move on to the idea of figuring out exactly where you are on the income scale to figure out how much you actually need to increase. Funny enough, I find that when people say they want to increase their income, they don't even know how good they have it right now and what their lifestyle increased by double could actually afford them as far as living goes. So you want to look at and figure out where you are on the income scale, how much you're paying in taxes, and how do you pay less? Well, you pay less by not having as much earned income. And a lot of times the reality of it is you're going to have to make more earned income and spend less to build up investments in passive income or just residual income before you can pay less on the earned income. You know, that's the reality of it. Now, another key thing, and I've learned this by reading books, I learned this by having mentors. If you go read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, one of the things they talk about massively in that book is when the rich dad got into financial strays, got into financial hard times, he gave away money he didn't have first to begin sowing the seeds to get out. So, the next point we're talking about is go ahead right now, today, and give away some money. Start speaking into existence the fact that you have enough that you can give away. Go get $100 out of the bank and put it in your wallet, just to keep it, not to spend it, just so that every time you go to buy something, you're seeing that you have that Chris Benjamin in there, and it makes you think, I'm prosperous. I got plenty of money coming in. When you give away, I don't know how it works, it just does. It comes back to you. Sometimes twofold, threefold, tenfold. Principles are in the Bible. Principles, other wealthy people. I'm not the only one talking about this. Go read books. Go read You're Broke Because You Want to Be by Larry Wingate. Go read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Go read the biblical text about money. You'll see what I'm talking about. You got to give it away before you can have it. So once you cut that excessive spending, let's give away a little bit of that money. All right, now we're going to begin to talk about what we've all been waiting to hear. How can you earn more? Well, funny enough, one of the first places that I would look is your job. Or if you own a business, how much is that business bringing in, and how can you increase it? Well, Robbie, I can't work any harder. I don't know how to do more. Well, I think that you will find that either as a business owner, you are having some employee or sales problems where they are slacking because maybe you haven't tightened the whip enough, or maybe you need to remind them of the greater vision that you have for the business. That'll immediately increase your income. Or if you're on the job, the reality of it is you may not be performing as well as you can, because most of us get into a rut and forget that work is work for a reason. It's not about loving it. It's a plus if you love it. You make more if you love it. But the reality is when we get hired to work for an employer, or when we have a business and hire people to work for us or with us, we enter into a contract with those people, and we are saying we're going to give our all while we are there, and nothing less than focus. So the first place to look is, how can I increase what I'm making at work? How can I make more sales calls? It's really a lot of times coming down to figuring out how much your time is worth, hourly wise, what you're making per sale, and then just saying, well, if I want to double my income, how do I double that output? How do I sell more? How do I close twice as many people? Or how do I make myself more efficient at work so that I can realize a promotion in the very near future and increase my income that way? Now, another way that you can earn extra income is obviously starting a business if you don't own one. The tax implications alone for starting your own small business are well enough reason. But a lot of people don't realize that entrepreneurship isn't for everyone. And you don't have to be an entrepreneur to make more money outside of your current job. There's all kinds of side hustles out there that you can begin that are not entrepreneurship. They're not running a business. They're not going crazy and trying to figure out how to do something you really don't have any business doing. They're just simply utilizing technology to earn a little bit more income. An example, you had a lot of clothes maybe sitting around your house or old toys that you can go on an app and sell for extra money. You can get rid of some of that junk that you've been meaning to get rid of anyway at a consignment shop, or you can begin to use your spare time to figure out how to maybe mow some lawns, wash some cars. Maybe you have an expertise in a field that you can farm out by going on to one of these freelance sites and getting a couple of freelance jobs, getting direct payment to you. All I'm saying is that once you determine how much money you need to make, and once you get your finances in order, it becomes more clear on how many ways there are out there to make exact extra money, side hustles, or starting a business. There's a huge movement out there right now, as a matter of fact, in the space of advice, starting online coaching businesses, consulting businesses. You have an expertise that other people need, that you could get paid good money for just by using it and charging an hourly fee. Now, on another Rob Review, we'll talk about how to start a business like that and exactly what kind of money you need. And don't be foolish and think you're just going to go out and do it. Plan to do it. Set aside some money. Use some of that excessive spending income and put it aside to start building an advertising budget and get you a side hustle rolling, get you a small business going. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about before I let y'all go out to the world and get to work on this stuff is the 70-20-10 principle. Let me pull my board back in real quick and we'll talk. All right, what is this thing I'm talking about? 70-20-10. Have any of y'all ever heard of it? It's very, very simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. There's a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. If you've never read it, go pick up a copy, order it today. I think you can get it for like $5 on Amazon. It is an incredible book about money management, and this right here will change your life. 70-20-10 rule is simply this. 70% of your money should be used to live on. That's where you see if you're living outside of this 70%, and it's not because you're paying on debt, let's try to decrease that and see if we can live within the 70. Maybe start by decreasing it to live within the 80 and then bring it down. Just work to get it to that number. And here's why. Because then you have 30% left over, and 20 of it can be invested, and 10 of it can be given away. And you can barely see that, but that's what the 70-20-10 principle is. It's really 70-30 and then broken down. You got to begin to make your money work for you, folks. That's what life's all about. And the earlier you start, the better. Now, the last piece of this is This comes out of your net, your gross, not your net. Meaning, you pay yourself first the 20 and the 10. You give away the 10. You pay the 20 straight into an investment account. You go get a book and you learn how to either invest in real estate, invest in the stock market, invest in online assets straight away when you make money from your earned income job. And then the rest is the 70% you have to live off on. Go the rest of the month. Live the way you're living, but categorize and figure out your spending habits. Then start employing this, and in 3 or 4 months from now, see if your life's not better. I hope it is. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the way to live a better life is simply this. You got to have an attitude of gratitude every day. Wake up, be thankful. You got to give before you can receive. And the degree of wealth that you build in your lifetime will be a direct result of the people you positively impact. That's not my words, that's the words of a very wealthy man that I have learned a lot from. Have a great day, everybody.